If you bought a house in New Braunfels the last 2 or 3 years and have to sell it right now, you may have to bring a check to the closing table. New Braunfels home prices have hit a 2-year low. We're going to give you the eyebrow-raising information and explanation. Plus, when can we expect the first rate cut already? All in today's video. If you guys are new here to my channel, thank you so much for hopping aboard, because every week we're putting out new information about what it's like to live in New Braunfels. Sellers, before you sell, buyers, before you buy, watch this video. I'm doing a double take after looking at the latest housing market report in New Braunfels. Here is the latest median home price in New Braunfels, $321,000. You know the last time it was that low in New Braunfels? November of 2021. We've turned the clock back over 2 years on our median home price in New Braunfels proper. And if you did buy a home 2-3 years ago, maybe cover your ears. Our peak was $398,000, almost $400,000, our median home price in New Braunfels proper in December 2022. We're down almost $80,000 from our peak. Things aren't much better in Hill Country, New Braunfels 78132, where prices continue to soften, down almost 3% year over year. What's going on here? Don't people want to still move to New Braunfels like thousands did during the pandemic? Yes, some are, just not at the red hot clip they were in 2020, 2021, or parts of 2022. Things are so much different today. Back then, considering back then was just 2 or 3 years ago, money was cheap. Mortgage rates in the 2s and the 3s. Not anymore. Fast forward to today, the banks, we got a gut punch this month. Gut punch big time. Banks took the rates from the low 6s all the way through the 7s, close to 8% on a 30-year fix. It's a broken record. Rates are high, demand and sales are low. When rates are low, demand, sales, and home prices go high. Can we just get our first rate cut already? Please. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, the big culprits in all of this, the softening of the prices, the 2-year low prices here in New Braunfels. Number one, the rates. That's a big culprit. The other part of that, the second culprit, is our new construction homes. New construction, new builds in New Braunfels is a huge part of our housing stock, which is a problem because many of these homes are close to being finished or finished sitting without buyers. And builders tell us they're going to continue to offer these incentives and discounts to entice buyers to purchase during this slow period. Meantime, the higher inventory of new construction homes in New Braunfels continues to soften that new construction market, but also the overall market in New Braunfels because of all of the wheeling and dealing. Once something sells that sells at a lower price than it did last year at this time, that creates the new comparables. Builders are at a critical point right now because of the higher rates, because of the abundance of homes on the market without buyers, because they're trying to still make a profit while still trying to hold value in their own neighborhoods. For you, if you're thinking about buying, this continues to be good news because you continue to sit in the driver's seat, and more importantly, you have more negotiation power in 2024. Let's talk about the first rate cut and when we can expect that. Here's the setup. The market took a wicked turn this month when the Consumer Price Index report, i.e. the inflation report, came out. Now that number was actually lower than the previous month, which is good. It means inflation is cooling off, but bad because that number was higher than what was forecasted. So the bank said, oh, we're going to make lending harder now, took it upon themselves to hike the rate from the low 6, mid 6s, all the way into the 7s, close to 8% for a 30-year fix, which knocked a number of families out of the New Braunfels housing market. I mean, they were this close. Builders continue to offer that incentive money so you can buy down your rate, but because the rate went higher, now your starting rate after that buy down may not be in the 3s and the 4s, it may be in the high 4s and 5s. Hey, that's better than being in the 6s, 7s, and 8s though, so you still have a shot. And being in the 5s if you're in a new construction home or resale home, if the seller offers concessions, may not be a bad thing until that first rate cut. Now think of it this way: if you're building a new construction home in New Braunfels from scratch, you're choosing your own options. It's not an inventory home, so it's going to take anywhere from 6, 8, 9 months to build. Time is on your side if you get started now, because by the time it's finished, at the end of the year, let's say November, rates may have come down noticeably. And remember, you can lock your rates 60 days before you close on a new construction home in New Braunfels. So time may be on your side. My prediction on when we can expect that first rate cut, and my prediction is based on information we've been following closely the past 2 years, plus knowing that the Fed is really stubborn about getting to their target 2% inflation. Now, inflation has cooled off the last year and a half, 18, 19, 20 months, yes, but it still has a little ways to go. And because that inflation number was higher than forecasted and it wasn't below 3%, I'm predicting no rate cut in March. I'm not even seeing a rate cut in May. My prediction for the first rate cut this year in quite some time will be in July, the start of the third quarter. Now, the reason behind my prediction: shelter or housing is one of the 4 core goods and services used to measure inflation. While we in New Braunfels have higher inventory and lower pricing, that's just not the case in the majority of American cities that have no new construction homes or very few new construction homes. That means their inventory is much lower and their pricing is much higher. If every American city was like New Braunfels in the sense that had a flood of new construction homes competing with other homes and softening prices, we would have likely already had our first rate cut. All this talk about rates, but if you're paying cash for your house, rates don't matter to you. But really, how many cash buyers are out there? Actually, the number of cash buyers has increased from 30% in 2022 to 34% in 2023. That means 1 out of every 3 buyers is paying cash for that house. And that was actually the profile of our buyers in 2023, all cash or mostly cash. The New Braunfels housing market correction continues to pummel pricing here to a 2-year low, plus my prediction of the first rate cut coming sometime in the third quarter, sometime in July. Enough for me right now. I want to hear from you. Did you buy a home in New Braunfels, resale or new construction, in the last 2 or 3 years, only to have to turn around and sell it relatively fast? If so, what did that look like for you? Or did you get in the market before the rates spiked? If you did neither of those and are kind of sitting on the fence right now, what are your plans moving forward? If those plans include moving to New Braunfels and purchasing a house here, or moving away from New Braunfels and selling your house here, of course, I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching our videos, and we'll see you on the next one.